Hello. So, my intuition has been calling on me for quite some time to do a video, and this is something I have never done before. So firstly, please be kind, and secondly, if you find it useful, please let me know. If you want to find out anything more, I'm more than happy to share further content and further insights, so just get in touch to tell me. This particular video is going to be on the subject of intuition, and that is what I've been compelled to do a video about. So intuition. Now this is something we all have. We all have access to it. Yet the large majority of people pay no attention to it. Take no notice of it. Don't listen to what their intuition tells them. Yet our intuition is pretty much always accurate, more times than we'd like to admit. So it's quite a shame that a lot of people don't listen to what their intuition tells them and guides them to do. And why might that be? Now, in the Western world, what is more valued and trusted is the visible world. So things that you can see, things that you can measure. We in the Western world are very hot on science and things being evidence-based and facts, as opposed to the invisible world, so things you can't see and things you can't measure. Yet, surprisingly enough, physicists found that reality is made up of only 4% of the visible world. Only 4%. 96% of reality is made up of the invisible world. So things you can't see, things you can't measure. And the only way that we know it's there is because light bends around it. So it's just mind-blowing, really, that we are the way we are. And a lot of you may know that I study something or practice something called shamanism. And shamans are the masters of the invisible world. And I've always been a very intuitive person, but in the past, prior to learning shamanism, I would often not listen to my intuition, and it would end up quite badly for me. It would always go pretty wrong as a result. But since learning shamanism, my intuition has increased tenfold. My life has transformed exponentially. It's amazing. I've learnt so much about my intuition, and I now trust it far more, and I listen to it a lot more, which is amazing, and which I'd love to be able to share with you guys as well. And the reason why I feel somewhat able to talk in a somewhat expert way about this is because not only do I have that experience, but also I've recently found out that the right side of my brain is a lot stronger than the left side of my brain. And the right side of the brain is all to do with emotion, empathy, compassion, creativity, and intuition. So that's basically what my strengths are in life. They are my superpowers, and I now am seeing it much more as a blessing as opposed to a curse. You know, before I would find it more of a curse because I'd wished that I had a stronger left side of my brain, but I am who I am, and I accept that, and you know, that's okay. So I've recently learnt that. So again, I feel like I've got that strength to share with everyone. And like I said before, there's been many a time I've made many a mistake where I haven't listened to my intuition, and because of that, you know, bad things would happen. I would, you know, bring in the wrong person into an organisation. I would go the wrong way, even though my intuition was telling me to do something completely different. And even like in the last few weeks, this is an example of how little intuition is being listened to these days. An organisation I work with told me that they couldn't go by my intuition. I had to give them evidence, I had to give them facts based on something. You know, intuition just isn't valued as much. Yet I would be able to give them so much evidence and so much experience of where my intuition has been proven right 9 times out of 10 in the past, and it would have saved a whole lot of stress, money, time, heartache if we'd have just gone by my intuition in the first place. But because we in the Western world don't value intuition as much, it doesn't happen, which is, like I say, such a shame. So if you would like to find out more about this and more about your intuition and become more connected to it and raise your consciousness, please do get in touch and I'll happily share more. Because something that I recently found out that I thought was really interesting is that 9 out of 10 caterpillars turn into moths after they've been through all that struggle and strife and metamorphosis. They become moths. It's only 1 out of 10 caterpillars that turns into an actual butterfly and becomes the beautiful butterfly that it is. And I just really want to help people become the best version of themselves and become a butterfly. So just thought I'd leave that little nugget of information with you. And also I wanted to share with you a book that I've just finished reading called Expecting Adam. I thoroughly recommend it. It's an incredible memoir that I think you would enjoy. And just to end, I just wanted to read a little snippet of a paragraph which a lot of this book talks about intuition, and the writer, Martha Beck, who's an amazing author, when she wrote this book, she went to Harvard. She wasn't very intuitive, didn't believe in all that, wasn't very spiritual back then. But by the end of the book, she says this: "We are now irrationally convinced that there is little to lose by taking the road less travelled, by making decisions based on nothing but dreams, or intuition, or our heart's desires. Since our son came along, we have quit good jobs, formed unusual relationships, undertaken projects that seemed crazy or just plain dumb. Sometimes we succeed and sometimes we fail, but it's always a great ride." And I just thought that would be a nice way to end this, and hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to hear from you soon. Take care. Bye.